Thank you, Minister. It's to ask about the way in which your department and associated agencies have adapted to the challenge of COVID-19 to try to continue to develop new markets for Irish food and drink producers. Thank you.
Thanks. I'd like to thank Deputy Carroll McNeill for this question. Gaining third market country access and opening up trading opportunities around the world for Irish exporters has long been an integral part to my department's strategic approach to the development of the agri-food sector. This has grown increasingly important as we deal with the challenges presented by both COVID-19 pandemic and, of course, Brexit. Trade missions will continue to play a key role here. However, our traditional in-person method of developing trade with customers is not feasible currently. To that end, Minister McConalogue and I, in conjunction with Board B, recently held a series of virtual trade missions with customers in Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand and the Philippines. These interactive engagements spanned 5 dates in November and December and included Irish industry and existing and potential customers overseas. We have also engaged in a series of virtual meetings with key international customers from Germany, the UK, Japan, China, UAE and Southeast Asia. In these uncertain times, meaningful and continued engagement with Ireland's growing customer base throughout the world is more important than ever. This innovative approach in bringing trade missions online creates an opportunity to further deepen trading relationships between Ireland and key customers. These virtual events also remind our key customers that Ireland remains committed to them and is able to supply foods that their consumers can have confidence in. The Government's commitment to new market development is further illustrated by my appointment as Minister of State with specific responsibility for this task earlier this year. My department has also placed 4 additional agricultural attaches in Irish Embassy network in recent years, in Berlin, Tokyo and Mexico City in 2019 and in Seoul and South Korea in 2020. In addition, my department's international trade activities are also reorganised and further developed to deal with the challenge of Brexit and the COVID-19 pandemic. So we're doing everything we can, Deputy, to be agile and be responsive to the challenges that COVID puts before us. But when we see the challenges that Brexit pose, we're not letting our foot off the gas at all, and we're continuing to drive on with accessing, developing new markets and making sure we mind and grow the markets we have already.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy Carroll.
Thank you, Minister, and congratulations on that work. And I mean, obviously, agri-food is such a huge part of our export economy, such a huge part of our national economy, and it has increased, and it's great to see that momentum. But if I could, it's clear from the department and from listening to the answers today how much emphasis is there for dairy and for beef, and that's appropriate. But if I could also just flag to you the sort of innovation-led businesses that are not on that side in dry goods and other things, thinking in my own constituency of startups, early startups like Homespun Foods and others that are purely innovation-led, that are drawing from global sources and that really need the help of Irish agencies to make sure to get access to emerging markets in just the same way as dairy and beef. We have extraordinary food producers in Ireland of all different types. We have an extraordinary reputation for the quality of the food that we produce. We produce it in a clever and sustainable way. But the access for those very small producers to newer and bigger markets, particularly as we face into these difficult weeks and into the difficulty of next year, that support would be so welcome as well. Thank you, Minister.
Deputy. Minister.
I thank the Deputy for that point, Chair. Look, it's a valid point you make, and I suppose with any new startup being innovative or otherwise, there's the challenges of scale and ramping up all the competences within that company quickly enough to be able to put their best foot forward. So from the political perspective, myself and Minister McConalogue, we use our good offices to open those opportunities, working closely with the state agencies, where we try and open the door for business and who have key market opportunities in these areas. We're led and we deal closely with the likes of Board B in terms of the research they provide as to where the big opportunities are. But I'm very happy to engage maybe with some of the smaller innovative companies in your constituency that you referenced, that you're familiar with, to hear their first-hand experience of maybe challenges they might have in this area and how we can work to adapt with that. But I know from Board B through to all the state agencies and ourselves in the department, we're there to open up those opportunities and to allow the businesses to put their best foot forward. And I'll be interested to hear maybe some of the challenges that the smaller companies have in trying to do that.
Minister. Deputy.
Thank you, Minister, and that's so welcome. One of the challenges for small businesses, of course, they've been able to take some of their own steps where there hasn't been a language barrier, but now with the United Kingdom leaving the European Union, that makes it much more difficult. And indeed, the agencies are very supportive, but I suppose some of the smaller businesses feel that there is this emphasis on dairy and beef, and just to make sure that we're still investing in that innovation-led enterprise, food enterprise, and to really give them the support that they need. Thank you for the opportunity to link them with you. It's always great to hear from practical examples from business on the ground in any walk of life, and agri-food is no different. So we really appreciate your support for those businesses, and thank you for your answer.
Yeah, look, just to sum up, to say we have a network, both from our department's point of view, a network of agricultural attaches throughout our embassy network. We have our through the Department of Foreign Affairs and our embassy network, increased significantly the footprint of Irish diplomats and supports all across the world. The Board BIA team are really phenomenal, and in my short time in the department and in this role, I'm really impressed by the young and dynamic talent we have all over the world in terms of opening those doors. So there should be no barrier to small innovative companies who are looking for those niche markets, who are looking for support in areas, because it's not just language, and you're right to point to the fact that Brexit does provide us with this opportunity when we become the only English-speaking nation in the EU, but also there are cultural challenges. In different areas there are different cultural emphases that are important for a company to be aware of for their customers, and that's the type of insight that our agricultural attaches, that our diplomatic team and the likes of Board BIA can provide. And I'm really happy to link any small companies looking to break into new markets, to link them up with those support services there.